8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of...
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Geo's Power Hour. How you guys doing? Did y'all have a great day? I hope so. Let me go to the chat before we get started and before I introduce the word. I want to see who's all in the chat, and then we'll get started from there. All right, here we go. We're in the chat now. Melissa King, welcome. We have Marlene Saunders show. Welcome, Marlene. Thank you so much for coming. Trish the Natural is in the house. Thank you so much, Trish. Mocha Mima Media is in the chat. Welcome, Mocha. Thank you so much for coming out, y'all. No, not my friend Team Ranger 92308. Hey, Team Ranger, how are you? We missed you. Aura and Bay is in the chat. Welcome, y'all. Thank you so much. And Team Ranger, you don't know how glad I am to see you. Okay, so let's get started with our topic. But before I do that, I'm going to ask the word. He's a good friend of mine. I met him through Marlene Saunders. And the first time I heard him speak, I was like, oh, wow, this man knows something. Okay, done been through it, made it through. And I am so glad because it's not a lot of people that make it through. I mean, it's a lot of that make it through, but it's not a lot. Okay. And I believe that the word has a lot of good points to share about his life. So I'm going to let him introduce himself, but let me tell you that his link to his channel is pinned in the comment section, and it is also in the description box. Take it away, the word.
Hello, everyone. I'm the word. One second, please. My son, I got a 3-year-old on his phone. Bassa, Bassa. Um, I'm the word. My channel is about personal growth and self-development. I use the experiences that I had in life, and also I studied religion and history, and I use all that spirituality, and I used all that to get myself together and overcome a lot of the trials and tribulations I faced. And I just hope to share the information, and hopefully the people can use the tools to help themselves. Um,
Okay,
I
well,
know it
thank you.
sounds simple, but yeah, that's what
Wow.
I do.
We're just going to have a real conversation, the word. Okay, and I want you to know that I am glad that you're on this channel. I've listened to you talk a lot, and I agree with a lot of the stuff that you say. Okay, so tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about 7 truths about getting a divorce according to men. Okay, now I took this information from the internet, and a Chris Penland wrote this. Okay, and I had never thought about it from a group of recently divorced men's, thinking. I just never thought about. I just thought about myself because I've been divorced twice. Okay, the first time I was divorced, it was like a 2 month thing. So I really don't call that a divorce. We got that annulled. I was just way too young. Okay. And then the second time I really actually went through and got a divorce, we had been married maybe about 2 years or so. And that was just with the wrong person. Okay. So I don't look at them as though I lost this and that. I learned a lot from them because the third time I got married, I stayed married 16, 17 years before he passed away. So I got better at it. Okay. All right, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right. So now we're going to talk about truths about getting a divorce. So let me just read this little piece here, and then we're going to get into the number one. Okay. Relationships themselves, and this is so true, the word, they can be complicated and at times even messy. On the other hand, divorce can bring even more chaos to a situation, even though it symbolizes the end of a relationship. However, many truths can be uncovered during a divorce, no matter how dramatic the problem is. Wow. A group of recently divorced men and women discussed this topic in an online forum. They assemble a list of a few crucial and sometimes ugly truths about getting a divorce. So the first one is, well, let me ask the word. The word, have you ever been divorced? Or if you want to share on that, you can go ahead on now.
Yes, ma'am. This is my second marriage. I've been married for 5 years now. The first marriage, I was young, didn't know myself, definitely didn't know the woman I was with, even though I thought I did. So when you read that part, when you said going through the divorce or just the process that uncovered some things, yeah. But yeah, my first marriage, it lasted 9 months. We was together 2 years. When we got married, yeah, when we got married, it was just different, you know. She became different. I became different. We both were young as I matured. Um, you know, our maturity rates was different. So I ain't gonna say nothing negative about it, but um, yeah, it just didn't work.
Right. Yeah. So let's get to the first one because I really wanted to discuss it. It says, when you're going through a divorce, the word, you'll realize who your friends are. There are two types of friends in your life: people who stand by your side post divorce, and people who disappear from your life completely. The truth is, some of your friends will sadly see you as broken, and for these people, it's easier to walk away from a friendship than help you navigate one of the most challenging times in your life. I had never thought about that. The word that you'll realize who your friends are after if you're going through a divorce. What do you got to say about that?
I learned who my friends and my family was when I went through my divorce, even sometimes, you know, family members. But it's true, you know, anytime you face an adversity in life in general, you'll know who they're for you and who not. You know,
Right.
sometimes people just surround you because at that moment where you at, they benefit from the joy, the happiness you got. But then when you need some joy, happiness from them, or when you need some support from them, they ain't there. So that's how you. I mean, divorce is a big one too. Like I said, I learned who some of my family was when I split up. Even though you know things occurred the way it did, people took sides, and I'm looking like I didn't even think it was sides to take. But um, people show their true colors when adversity comes. So I definitely agree with that.
Wow, because I had never thought, I didn't even think about it, what my family thought about my divorces. I didn't really care. I just know I had made a mistake and I needed to own up to it. But, now that I think about it, there are some people that if you get a divorce, they think something wrong with you because they're told you can't get a divorce. You have to hang in there. Child, I'm not hanging in there with no abusive, no nothing, woman, man, cat, dog. Okay, so let's see what they're saying in the chat here. Marlene said that people only want to support you when things are good. That is so true, Marlene. That is so true. And she also said, yes, you will really find out who your true friends are. Wow. And let's see, I believe Nancy just came in. Hey, Nancy, how you doing? We're talking about divorce. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, and we'll discuss that point. So it says here the word so much divorce is preventable. Like so many other major life events, divorce is preventable. You have to be able to spot the warning signs and make the necessary adjustments along the way. One of the most effective ways to do this is by reading books on the topic. What? Reading books on the topic. Multiple people cite specific books that help them salvage their marriage. And one book in particular is mentioned more than once. If couples apply the information in Gottman's book, The Seven Principles for Making Marriage Work, a practical guide from the country's foremost relationship expert, they would likely avoid a dump truck full of pain. Wow. This book, among others, saved my marriage. If something as simple as reading a book can help stop divorce, it's worth doing it. So, this number two is saying that divorce is preventable if, to me, it is the word, because if both parties are willing to work on it. What do you have to say about it?
I agree with what you just said. Even if you read the book, that doesn't mean, the other party is coherent, So, but I would say this too, information and knowledge. Like from what that said, I mean, that's what's in the book, the information and knowledge. If you don't mind, I take it another step deeper. But um, like my wife is Middle Eastern, right? So in her culture, the women are raised to be wives, the men are raised to be husbands, and they have information and knowledge on how to interact with one another as spouses as they're coming up. So this information that's 9 times out of 10 in that book is taught, and there's a lot of cultures like that. I don't think it's a big thing in American culture where people are kids are brought up to understand that they're gonna be compatible to another when they get older. A lot of women are taught to be independent. A lot of men are taught to be independent as well. I was raised like that. All the stuff that I learned was through my own personal growth, and I realized that I wasn't even ready to be a husband the first time I got married. So I had to learn how to be a husband. First, I had to learn how to be a man, and once I learned that, that's 50% of being a husband is actually being a man. So just taking the responsibilities and playing my role. So I agree with it, but I think I don't. I think it should be. You shouldn't have to wait to get older to get married to have problems to read a book to understand how marriage works. I think that should be something taught led by one by example. Like me and my wife. My son is watching us interact. So a lot of the things that I do for my wife, like I rub my wife's feet when they hurt. My son does it. I open doors for my wife. I carry when garbage. My son will not let my wife pull a garbage bag. If he can't get it, he come get me.
Right.
So it's just certain the little things that people probably overlook. Um, I'm teaching them now. So as he get older, some things that be natural, almost like a reflex for him. The other things I have to explain, but I think we should do that. Um, is explain to our kids not only how to be independent, but also how to be um, a team, how to be a husband or how to be a wife.
Yeah, because when I was young, I know I didn't know how to be a wife. The first time, what, 2 months, we got that annulled. The second time, 2 years, still didn't. I learned a lot from that 2 year marriage, okay? And I really didn't really want a divorce from that particular person, but he did mostly because I was trying to work on it, but he didn't. Okay. So that happened. We got a divorce. So I learned a lot from that. And then I didn't, like I said, I didn't get married for a long time. But when I did, by then I had invited God in my life. I had went to therapy. I had did a lot of things. So I believe that that's how come the marriage when I married Philip, it lasted so long and we were happy. We had our problems, but overall we were happy. So, and I didn't read a book or anything like that. I just went from wisdom. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't ready back then, but then when I met Philip, I was ready. And I'm still ready today. And I've learned a lot from that 16-year marriage as well. So let's see what they're saying in the chat. She said, I don't think divorce is preventable if they are toxic. That's from Marlene. Okay. Marlene is from Jamaica. She's Jamaican descent. Okay. Mocha Mimi is saying we have to take a look at why the divorce is happening and see if it can be salvaged. Right. Marlene saying both people have to be invested in the marriage. So true. Yes, Marlene, both have to be invested. But I think Marlene said something here in my Caribbean family, divorce is shameful. Yep, and that's why a lot of people that is that point number two will stop being your friends because they feel like you're broken and you should have made that marriage work and this and that. Okay, marriage is definitely work. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, but I believe like if you're with the right person, you can. Because my marriage lasted a longer time, way longer than the other two that I had, and I was ready, and so was Philip, and so we worked out a lot of stuff. I just think that if he hadn't passed away, we'd have still been together. Okay, all right. So let's move on to the next point they're saying. Now listen at this. The word number three. Only, and I'll say this again. Only the lawyers win. In many cases, divorces are messy, no-win affairs for either you or your ex. Unfortunately, divorce lawyers are the only ones who make it out the other side in a better position. They're in it because the business of divorce makes them money. Do not resent them for this fact. To them, it's not personal, it's just business. Once you understand this truth, it'll be easier to accept. Countless men and women have stories of wanting to win their side of divorce only to realize that both people lose in the end. Only the lawyers win. I agree with that, the word, because I watched my sister just recently, last year, go through a divorce. It was so stressful, not only for her because she was stressed out, she stressed out the whole family. Then she ran out of money. And guess then who had to help? Because her lawyer was saying, you got to pay before I show up in the court. And every time I think about that lawyer, I say, I'll never send nobody to her. But anyway, it's only the lawyers win because she wouldn't do nothing unless that bill was paid. How do you feel about that? Oh, the word.
I agree with that one too because anytime a lawyer involved, that's who wins. You know, I wish I would have went into that profession because, but I do. I got a couple lawyers in my family, but it's fact because when two people come together and get married, you know, um, it was a reason, and the reason didn't work out, and now you got two people separating. Even if it's not money involved, property, kids. Like when I got divorced, it wasn't hard. I didn't actually use a lawyer. She had a lawyer, so I see how that worked out. She tried to come after some stuff, but it was protected. Um,
Hmm. Well, it's a good
but
profession to go in because if you don't pay no money, they ain't showing up and they ain't doing a darn thing. But then,
they
like
ain't
they
showing
say,
up.
it's business. But I'm looking at it like, but this my life. He's gonna get everything and da da da. But they don't care. I seen my sister go through this. And we all as a family pitched in and helped to pay the bill, and then the lawyer showed up and fought for her real hard. If other than that, she wouldn't have fought for her. So only the lawyers win to me because Even in that divorce, they both lost. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And guess what? They still talking to each other.
Mm. Um, I mean, you lose time. You can't get that time back you spent. You lose resources, money, like friends. You lose a lot, you know. So
Yeah,
only people who ain't losing is the lawyers.
that's right. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Kids do suffer. This is number 4. One of the toughest pills to swallow is realizing that despite both parents' best efforts, kids will ultimately suffer after a divorce. All the best heart-to-heart talks with a child are no match for changing their lives. It says related video. I soft launched my divorce by slowly deleting my ex-husband from my Instagram. It helped me cope with the split. Okay. Uh, so there are uh kids do suffer. Now my sister didn't have any kids with this guy. So that was good. Her daughter was grown and all and got kids. She's a grandmother, but she didn't have kids. So and I did not have kids, okay, when I was married. So I don't even I know that kids suffer. I watch a lot of documentaries on this and stuff like that. And kids they feel either are abandoned by both parents or abandoned by the marriage. I don't What do you think about that? The word kids do suffer because of of a divorce.
And that's fact. I say that on many different levels. My mother and my stepfather. Even though he was abusive and stuff, and he was there, but he wasn't there when they got a divorce. Just watching my sisters go through what they went through, and you would have thought it would have been better for all of us, but one of my sisters is still dealing with that, and then even seeing like knowing adults when their parents got divorced. And I'm talking about they don't live in a house, but when their parents split up, you still see how it affect them that their parents not together. So any change that, especially a child sees at a young age, and that's a big change. Not having mom and dad in the same spot um, is a change. Even if everything wasn't great at the time, dad's not here no more. I have to go to dad's house now. And then you're not even talking about the individual. If the mom or dad is bashing the other one, to the kid blaming the other one, it's a lot of trauma that can occur.
Yeah, because no matter how you try to prepare them, if you would raise them from the ages, if they can remember that mom and dad was in the house all the way up to a teenager, and it really affects the teenagers. They act out, okay? And this is something else that this article said. It said the best advice here is to answer your child's questions, be present and not sugarcoat anything. Remember, they'll be just as confused, heartbroken, and anxious as you'll be, if not more so. Their lives will be changing just as much as their parents. So, accepting that your kid will have difficulty processing the divorce is a vital step to making the transition smooth. So, what they're saying here to me is just be raw with it. Just answer all the questions that they have and just tell the truth. Because either way it go, whether you keep the truth from them or you tell the truth, they're going to be confused and heartbroken anyway, you know? So you might as well just tell them and, love them because, and just tell them that they are able to come to you with any questions they have. All right. And if they act out, you just have to get down, pull off the onion to find out. And most of the time, it is because they are heartbroken and sad that their mom and dad separated. So to me, it does affect the children greatly. Okay, let's go to the chat because Melissa wrote something that I want to put up back on the screen. Melissa said, and I thought because our daughter was only 2 when I divorced, but it still had an effect on her. Yeah, because daddy was not in the house and everybody else had one, probably Melissa. I'm not sure what the situation is, but just from reading that, if I was a kid, I would think that too. Like, where's my daddy? Everybody else got one. And the reason why I can say that, because when I was 17, my mom died. And I remember when I used to see some of my friends, and they would have a mother and a father, and we didn't have that. Oh my God. I was like really toe. I didn't let them know, but I was toe up behind that because I was like, man, I don't even know. I was 17, so I didn't get a chance to know to meet my mom. I always wanted to know what it would feel like if she was here and know me today. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't get to she didn't get to know me as a grown up. And so I missed that. So when I read this, it takes me back there. And of course, I believe that, yeah, it had an effect on her. I'm pretty sure. What do you think, Word?
I think that definitely, I grew up in a home with my grandmother up until I was 9. I didn't have my mother or father. And then when I turned 9, I came to Michigan with my stepdad and mom. Um, so just not having my biological father in the home, and I used to get teased by my cousins. When I was young, they told me your mom or daddy didn't want you. That's why you with grandma, and it did a lot of stuff to me when I was younger. I didn't even know it affected me until I got older, but I definitely feel that um,
Right.
because you see other people with their mom and dad, and you wonder. I used to wonder like, what did I do that I can't have what they have? And I used to think something was wrong with me. So there's a lot of different things that child can be thinking. Like it's their fault that mom and dad, like just me mentoring young men too. A lot of times that was some of the problems. Their dad. There's one young man, his dad died, and he thought he did something. He blamed himself, and he couldn't understand. He was only 14, and he thought because of him, his dad died. So you never know what goes to that child head. That's why it's important. What I like what they said. Just answer everything.
Right. Okay, now R and Bay said, I'd rather see my parents divorced and happy than together miserably. It's a family thing and should be discussed together. Yeah. Divorce, like if
I, would-
it's go ahead, the word.
I would say, as an adult, I agree 100% with that. But
Yeah.
with a child mind, I don't know if I can agree with that because you know how kids think. When we mature, we understand what happiness is. But as a child, I don't think they're not thinking about, oh, mom and dad not happy. They're just thinking about, my mom and dad not together. They more think, I
Right.
guess it's more about them than understanding the biggest picture. So I agree with it, with a mature adult mind, but as a child, I think that's difficult to
Right.
comprehend.
Yeah, I can understand that word because when you got a child, man, all you thinking about is the same thing. They're not together. They're getting a divorce. What did I do? And kids mostly take that upon themselves, no matter how you try to explain it to them. You know. So let's move on to what Marlene said. Marlene said it's important to communicate to children what is happening. Hey, Edward, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, and then we got Melissa is saying my parents have been together for 48 years, and there were many days I wish they were divorced. They worked my nerves. Word, go ahead on that one.
Hey, you know what? My mom and I no comment.
I know it made me laugh too.
My my mom and dad go see this. I was about to ask. I didn't even share stream. Is it okay if I share stream and see if we can get a couple more people in?
Okay, what you mean? Share it to your
Share it to
oh
my
yeah,
audience. So
yeah, share it out to your community tab. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what Melissa is saying. My parents have been together and they work. Now, I will say this, Melissa, that if my parents was fighting and they both was drinking, or one drinked and the other one didn't, I just says they drank from the old school. I was a kid, and I would always have to get in between the two of them and all that. I probably would be glad they got a divorce if I was a kid, because I have seen this, okay, in my family, all right, where the kids would have to uh, take, protect the mama from the daddy, and then all of a sudden, the mama gets a divorce from the daddy, and then the kids go with the mother, and seem like the kids was much happier. But as they grew up, I remember it was my cousins, and as they grew up, they just had this big resentment against their father for hitting their mother, while he was drunk. And then, and this man never stopped drinking, never. Okay, so that particular, it's just situations that you're in. It's just situations that you're in. And Marlene is saying, my parents were married 52 years. There were ups and downs, but they loved each other. Okay. But see, there was no abuse there and none of that kind of stuff. So, it's just like they said before, you can work on a marriage. And and some couples, if they work on their marriage, they can prevent divorce. Okay. Word, are you back?
yeah, I'm back. She my little 6 month-year-old. She run the house now.
Okay. Okay, here go. Okay, Aaron Bay said that you have to talk to kids on their level. That's true. Uh, Marlene is, and my parents used to get on my nerves too, but they never left each other, Marlene. They stayed right there and worked it out. If you have somebody that want to work on the marriage, okay. We got Naturally Toot is in the house. Thank you so much for coming, saying hey, the word, and Melissa. Okay. Melissa said, mine just get sick of each other and they both vent to me. So what are you saying, Melissa, that you think your parents should get a divorce? Is that what you're saying, Melissa? Put it in the chat. Shout out the word panel and chat from Nene Lawyer. Well, welcome in, Nene and Natural Toot. I'm so glad to be here, for you guys to be here in this podcast. We're talking about divorce and how it affects people, kids, even the two parties that's involved. And one of the things that we've said is that only the lawyers win, because in a divorce, both people really do kind of lose. Okay. So let's move on to the next point. And that is, let me get down to it. It says this, the word, even divorce on good terms is heartbreaking. Now, I don't know if I agree with that, the word. I'm gonna tell you why, because I have to look at it from my point of view and what I went. I was glad. Bye. It wasn't heartbreaking to me because I guess we didn't have a lot, and there was not out. Whatever I brought into the marriage, I took, and whatever he had, he kept. Okay, I didn't ask him for nothing or what. I just wanted my peace. Okay, and I knew that we had married each other. We were wrong for each other. We either we both needed to grow up, and I never was like kind of angry with him or anything. I just wanted out. I wanted to work on the marriage, but because he didn't, it made me just want out. Okay, so even divorce on good terms, they say is heartbreaking, but I didn't feel it. Maybe I felt some sadness. What about you, Word?
That's probably the first one I ain't agree. I don't agree with. One heartbreaking to me. I mean, if anything, it was. I found my heart because I was getting kind of cold in that marriage. So yeah, it's like you said, it's situational. With my circumstances, like I said, I didn't have any kids. It wasn't nothing. She took everything already. It wasn't nothing to split. She just literally took everything. So no, it was a big relief, and I got morals and values. My grandparents are from down south, so uh, like when I was married, even going through the divorce, I wouldn't even date or see other women until it was over with. So it was like a burden. I felt free. So yeah, I don't agree with that one. One heartbreaking, heart healing.
Right. Hey, Slasher Chick, long time no see. So glad you're here. Slasher Chick said, "Hey, Gio and Marlene," and then she said, "I agree with R and Bay. If parents are miserable, the kids will feel it, no matter how much they try to hide it." That is true. That is so true, and I really believe that too. What about you, Word?
I believe that too. People are
Yeah.
miserable. You got to. I get a quick shout out to everybody who came through on the channel. Uh, Please make sure y'all show Gio some love. I'll get her link in the chat
Yeah.
in 1 second.
Yeah. Make sure y'all thumbs up the live. Okay, Slasher Chick is saying, "I was just about to say I miss you, ladies. The feeling is most definitely mutual." Yes, we miss you too. We're so glad to see you, Slasher. Slasher Chick started out with us back in 2019. So we've been friends a long time. Thank you so much for showing up and letting us know you're okay, Slasher. Okay. 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 Natural Toot said, "I'm thankful and blessed to see another day. That's more than enough to be thankful for." Amen. And I put it up here because that's how I feel too. We only got 24 hours, and I'm just grateful and blessed to be here. And another thing I want to say is that I'm grateful and blessed that I learned something from my divorces. The first one we got annulled, so I need to stop saying divorces. But to me, that's still a divorce, okay? The second one, I was married for 2 years. That didn't work out. I think I married the wrong person, or maybe this person didn't, after we got married, didn't feel like it was worth it or something. I don't know, didn't want to work on it. So I learned a lot from that because my third marriage, I stayed married a long time. It was less fights, it was a lot more communication, a lot more love in the marriage. It was just a lot of everything. Okay, until my husband passed away. So I'll do it again if I can find the right communicator. All right. Would you do it again? Word. Oh, that's right. You already married, right? So you did it
Yeah,
again, right?
it didn't discourage me. I just understood that one, I wasn't ready, and I found the wrong person. So it was
Right.
just about me learning who I was and finding the right person that compliment me, not nothing else. I needed someone who compliments me.
Right. Hey, James, guy, what's up, James? So glad to see you up in here. This in Geo's vlogs, a Power Hour show. Let's see what else. It says they may as well ride it out. You talk about her parents. That's the one where she said her parents gets on her last nerve, and they both, event to her. And I asked her, "Well, what do you think they should get a divorce?" And she just said they may as well ride it out. Okay. Mocha Mima said, "My parents divorced when I was 17, and it was 17 years too late." Wow. Oh, they should have been divorced. Okay. All right. Let's see the word. Everybody's speaking to the word. Let's see. Blessing to the word panel and chat. Hey, Rachel. Thank you so much for being here, Rachel. Okay. Okay. It seems like Ara and Bay Sage disagree, but we need to know to what. R and B. Yes, give me my peace of mind back. That's what I thought about when my divorce, when I signed those papers, and it was it. This is the second year, 2 year marriage. I was so glad. But on the other hand, word, it was a loss. Let me just be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I did feel some sadness, but when I got on the plane to come home, I was glad. I was glad, but I was sad because I think I remember asking myself if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know what I'm saying? That when you ask yourself that, and that was before I went to therapy, and I didn't know that I was going through the grieving process of a loss. A divorce is a loss, okay? And sometimes you can just marry the wrong person. You just be glad to get out of there. No tears, no nothing. It depends on the situation. Okay, let's see what Slasher Chick says. All of my divorced friends have said it felt like a failure, even if it was the right decision. And that part was heartbreaking. Yes, I think that's what I was feeling on the plane home when I packed up and sent my stuff back home to Houston because I was living in Detroit at that time. And when I got on that plane and I was going back home, I was sad, but I couldn't put my finger on it. But now, Slasher Chick, because it was a failure and it was a loss. So yeah. And then I was sitting on the plane talking about if I could have, would have, should have, but knowing deep down in my heart that the right decision was to divorce because he didn't want any part of the marriage anymore. So, that is the heartbreaking part when you feel like it's a failure. So I can only reason I can say I agree to that word is because I went through it. What about you?
I was about to say, I went through all. I guess I felt the loss before the divorce was final. I felt the loss when she took all my stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, I understand it, because it is. I guess it can be. I wasn't embarrassed. I don't know. I never. It's certain experiences that people talk about I didn't have. I don't get embarrassed for what other people like from not succeeding in something because I learned from it. So nothing to be embarrassed about for me.
No.
That's how it works. So and then like I said, the loss, everything that I lost, you took already. So it was like when it was done, it was like more of a relief. But like circumstances, like you said, situation, I can
Right.
understand that. It's not from mine, but from watching other people go through divorces, I can understand that.
Right. And I remember when I got home and I was back with my sister, and she came in the room, and I remember I was having tears. This is the way I felt. I was like, man, I got to start all back over again. I got to find a job. I got to do this. And she came in there, she just gave me a hug. And she said, you're going to be all right. It's okay. You have to start over. And that just really made me feel good. And because when you do get a divorce and one have to go back to another state and you have to quit your job where you have been for 2 years, it is a loss. So that's what I was feeling. Okay, let's see. Oh, everybody new that came in, please hit that thumbs up for me, please. Okay, it's only heartbreaking if you don't want to let them go. Child, I wanted to let them go, Marlene. It's just the I don't know how to say it. It's just things. It was a loss, and we all go through losses, and a lot of people handle their losses so differently. I just felt like, damn, I gotta start over. I felt sad. But I think now that I'm talking about it more and more and more, because I didn't discuss this a lot in therapy, more and more and more, it was that I felt sad that it did not work. And deep down inside, if I'm real honest with myself, I wanted it to, but this person rejected me. That's sad. Okay, but I got over it, and stuff with time and things like that, and learning more and more about myself when I went to therapy. I'm like, well, shoot, that was his loss, because I'm all that. Okay, let's move on to absolutely correct. Nene is saying, okay, peace and power. Hey, Frankie Blanco, how are you? Welcome to the live. Thank you so much for coming. Nene is saying that be an impact on children. Yes, divorce is an impact on kids. It really is. Okay. Hey, Juba Bryce, so glad to see you. So glad to see you. Okay, here is what Melissa is saying. Oh, Commander Ender Turnkey, Ender Turkey. Thank you so much for being here, Commander. Okay, Melissa, I agree. I felt like I had flunked marriage, and that made me feel bad. But I don't regret the divorce. That's it, Melissa. That's what I was feeling way back then. Okay. So, what do you have to say, word on that? Because I've been talking a lot.
I mean, I feel, I mean, like I said, I didn't, I learned. Like when I learn from stuff, I don't feel bad. I don't have an emotional attachment to it. So, I mean, I understand it. It's just anything that happened in the past, I just learned from, you know.
Right,
Uh,
right, right,
I don't like negative, like all them bad feelings and stuff. So, the
right,
worst for me is anything. I don't care if it's good or bad. You know, I learn from it. Every experience is something for me to take from it. And that has helped me with my development and growth. All
right.
them negative feelings about, not being successful or, I mean, I understand it, but what I'm saying is, personally, I don't experience that, but I understand it. So, I mean,
Okay,
like you said, circumstances and situations.
okay. Aaron Bay is saying divorce is not a failure. I
Uh,
believe what we're saying, what I'm saying, I can only speak for myself, and I think Melissa might. It says we feel it's a feeling of failure, not the
yeah,
divorce as itself, but as that person. But if you look at it, divorce, and you go through it and you dissect and you learn, and you have to be real honest with yourself, because you got to look at the part you played in it too.
you
I
know
learned.
what?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was about to say that that's the whole thing because I learned, I allowed a lot of stuff, I allowed a lot of stuff, and eventually the things that didn't bother me began to bother me, and it became a problem. But it was learned behavior, so I just understood like it is what it is. I'm not
Right,
candy coating nothing, not even with my wife. Like, y'all gonna meet my wife one day. She'll tell you like, I don't deal with him in the morning here, a-hole. Like I gotta get myself together and then. But if you start coming at me a certain way, no shot against women, but y'all want stuff done right away. Well, let me get myself together. But that's what I'm saying. You find somebody who compliments you. She understands me. She don't
right,
talk to me. She'll wake up, make my coffee, and she'll give me a kiss. Say, "Go drink coffee. I'll talk to you after that." We've been like that for the last 5 years, and it works.
right.
So,
That's
so
great,
I mean,
the word. Shoot. When I got honest with myself and really looked at that 2 year marriage that ended in divorce, I could see that I wasn't ready, and I wasn't mature enough. Okay.
yeah,
And the only way I got that is because my therapist always taught me this is I was married for 2 years, and then we got a divorce. Then I went to therapy maybe about 4 or 5 years after that. Okay. And that's when I learned who Geo was. Okay. That's when I learned how to look at myself and say, what part did I play in this? What did I bring into that marriage? That's what that was not right, that I should have fixed me first before I brought in that into that marriage. So that's how I got through all of it by just being very honest with myself and learning from it, because the next time I got married, I stayed married. Okay. And like I said, if he hadn't have passed away, we probably would have still been married. Okay. So That's all I have to say to that. Slasher Chick is saying, oh, she just talking to Marlene. I'm doing well. I'm so glad I caught this live because mostly all I do is work. I heard that. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. All right. Marlene, can you put Geo's link in my chat so I can pin it? Okay.
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Go ahead.
Apologies to everyone. Apologies to everyone in the chat. I'm trying to get to you on the laptop, but I can't type fast enough, and the baby here. So I appreciate everybody coming through, chilling with Gio. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody that's here, thank you. So Kritika is here. Hey, Kritika, sorry. She is such a great friend of mine. And we follow each other on YouTube, and she has some great videos. She's a vlogger like I am. So I'm so glad you're here, Kritika. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, I'm putting in Geo's link. Okay. Frank is saying hi to Marlene. And here is my link. Okay, there you go, the word. All right, and then we got Lovey. Let's see what else. Okay, here we go. Here's something else. This is from my friend Slasher Chick. I think a great failure would be betraying yourself for a lifetime because one is afraid, Melissa King, my econ. If it's flunking out of a marriage, it's acing self-love at the same time. That's what I'm talking about. See, when I went to therapy, I learned. Oh my God. And I'm so passionate about this, what I'm about to say. I learned how to love me. I thought I did the word. I didn't know how until I went to therapy, until I practiced everything she told, until I surrendered and said, God, I can't do it by myself. I need you to help me, love me. And once I got that, I was cool. I started looking at everything. Okay, G, you cannot do this no more because this is going to affect your life. If you want a good man in your life, you got to work on this and do not bring this into your marriage. Okay, so self love, everybody, is the thing that you should work on. Every day I tell myself, I love me. Okay, you could do this, Gio. You're a precious child of God. See, you got to put these things in your head. So whenever that feeling of failure come up or fear come up, that's what I fight with. I just had to say that. I don't know if that was still on the topic or not, but I
No,
was
that
just led to say that. Go ahead, Word.
no, that's a life hack. Self love. A lot of people think they love themselves and they really don't. And it's levels to it. So once you think you got it, you you get a test to see if you really got it. But that's
Yeah.
that's all facts. I remember when I was younger, I was with one of my female cousins, and her fiance told her, "I love you more than I love myself." And she looked at him. She said, "Well, you can't love me now." She said, "If you don't love yourself more than you love me, it's impossible for you to love me." And I didn't
Right.
get it until I got older, and then I realized like what ain't in you, you can't bring out. So you loving anything, even like with me, I got kids. I have to still love myself more than I love my kids. And I know that sounds crazy, but if I love myself, then I'm gonna put myself in the best position to do the best for my kids. But if I'm
Right.
not loving myself, I'm not taking care of myself. So no matter what I do for them, I'm still deteriorating. I might not be here as long, not loving myself and putting my love into everything else besides myself. So, I mean, especially with my condition and what I'm going through, I have to constantly tell myself that to push myself to get, better, to get stronger. If I love my kids, I need to love myself.
Right. Well, what I learned is that nobody can, I have to make me happy. Okay, because if I'm happy, if I know how to make me, I'm not going to depend on people to make me happy. That's what I used to do, and that's probably why I married those two people. Okay, and today I know how to make me happy. I can live with me. I stay up in my apartment by myself. I'm okay. I don't need. I'm not running out here trying to get married and all of this here because I have really learned from my past, and today I love me. So let's see. Nexie is in here. Let's see. Marlene. Oh, let's see. I had her. Here she is. Nexie Mendoza. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. Melissa is saying, well said, slash the chick. Yep. All right. Juba is still in here. Commander is still in here. R and Bay is saying maybe a feeling of loneliness and not heartbreak. Yeah, I can see that too, R and Bay. I really can. Okay, we got Draco Top Master. Well, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on 1K. Thank you so much for being here. Okay.
Appreciate you, Draco.
Yes.
The
Is
big homie.
Draco, did he get 1K?
Nah, I hit 1K.
Oh,
He was
you hit.
saying
Okay.
congratulations. Yeah, he
Yeah.
came to us some love.
All right. So let's see who else is in here. Lovey, she's sending hearts and something to the when we see it, we can't see exactly what it is. Stars and hearts to the word. Okay. Okay, Slasher Chick is saying, you're right, Gio. You do have to grieve that loss with any relationship. Yeah, whether it's a small grief cry or a big cry or whatever, you do have to grieve loss. Not only the loss of the present, but grieving the future you imagine or plan with that person. Girl, go head on. That's what I'm talking about. You know? And my therapist used to tell me you have to grieve losses, whether they big or little. Some you could get through like in a minute or 2 seconds or 3 hours or even 24 hours. And then there are some you have to grieve for 2 or 3 months, sometimes up to a year. And when I was in therapy, Sasha Kick, I used to just look at her and say, what in the she talking about? I'm not grieving nothing. Come to find out I had a lot to grieve. Mm-mm-mm. And that's why I stayed to myself for a while, because the next marriage that I got into, I really wanted it to work, and I didn't want to bring all of that into that. We got Liz B. Hey, Liz, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Okay, Marlene saying it's a loss though, but you get over it. Yes, you do. You do. You do. Okay. Melissa is saying, I will agree, Gio. My move from Florida back to Alabama start over was hard initially, but having the support of my family made the difference. Right. And see, that was a loss to me because I lost my job. I had a good job in Detroit, and I had got a divorce. I wanted to come home, and oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say to that. Okay. Okay. And Marlene is saying most women have emotional attachments, though. True. True. All right. Let's go on to the next point, and then it's been like close to an hour now, and we're going to bring this to a close. It said, now listen, this is what the article said. I'm just reading what the article said, and me and Word is saying what we agree with and what we don't agree with. The next point they said, Word is, it's difficult to move on without therapy. While therapy has a negative connotation for many people, the truth is that therapy is one of the best ways to move on from a post-divorce. I can't imagine where I would be without therapy. One recently divorced man admits, I can't recommend it enough for anyone going through a divorce. And I have to agree with him. I really agree with that statement, because even though after that 2 year marriage I had, and it took me 3, 4 years, but when I went to therapy, oh, it is. I mean, I got to know who I was, and it is, and everything that I went through, and all the lessons, and all the journal writing, and everything helped me be a better person and a better wife for Philip, the guy that I married after all of that. Okay, so and there are things that when you go through therapy, the therapist asks you that you would never think about that was hurting you, that you never thought about that was dysfunctional. that you just never thought about. I learned so much, guys, in therapy. I spent 5 years getting myself together, okay, for Philip. All right. And it happened for me. So I'm an advocate of therapy. Go if you can. Okay, even if you're not getting no divorce or whatever, and you're going through something, grief, whatever. To me, therapy saved my life. It really did, and it brought God back in my life. Go ahead on, word.
Okay, I give you my personal experience, and then I give you my personal observation. Therapy was me getting a divorce. That was therapeutic. I didn't need nothing after that. I was straight. I was already mentally, physically, and spiritually ready for it. But I will say this: I am an advocate of therapy, even though it never worked for me. I have seen it work for other people. I got therapist friends, um, and I have sent people to therapy and it worked for them. So therapy is good. I mean, because a lot of us don't understand. That's what they are. They're professional solving problem solvers, and a lot of us don't have the skills, the knowledge, or the understanding, and they do. So just like any profession, um, if we need something done, a plumber or something like that, we call a plumber. So I tell people, I know in the black community, it's taboo. Try it. Don't knock it until you try it. Like I said, personally, it didn't work for me. I probably just didn't find the right person to help me. I found, unconventional way of healing and getting over things, but I am an advocate of therapy. I know it works for people. And I tell people, if you can't solve your problems, you find somebody who can. That's just in all aspects of life.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question for you, word. There you go.
Okay, hold on one second. No word. Do you feel like divorce is easier as far as emotionally for men? Um, That too is situational because even all men are different, but generally speaking, probably because men are more logical, women are more emotional. As long as you ain't taking the man money, I don't think they have a problem with the divorce. If they on the money, then I think he'd get emotional. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. For me, I think it works both ways. Men probably not gonna let you know how much it hurts, you know, but that's just from my experience. I don't know. I'm just telling you because the guy that I divorced to, that I was in that 2 year marriage, he was like he didn't care. He didn't have no feelings, no nothing. So I think that he did, because years after, I hadn't seen him, he hit me up on Facebook, and he told me, he said, I need to apologize to you. I say, for what? He said, for the divorce. I should have worked harder. I said, yeah, you should have. He said, I see you married now. I said, yeah. And the conversation just went on, and I hadn't heard from, that was the only time that we ever spoke. Okay. So that's why I say I think that the divorce hurt him just as much as it did me. But we knew that we needed to get a divorce. Okay, let's
Can I share?
see.
Can I share one more thing on that
Yeah.
topic right there
Mhm.
with you? I think a lot of times too, and this is from I can't speak for all men, but uh, I think when it comes to man, we, like I said, we more logical thinkers. So before it's over, we kind of already know it's over. Um, and I think with women, like I said, y'all, I think women are just more emotional. So, like from her standpoint, from the way she asked the question, um, I just think man is already done in their head and moved on, while the woman would try to fight and fix it more. I mean, I just see that more too when people divorce. It's usually the woman trying to fight to fix things than a man.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to look at those statistics too.
Yeah. So we're gonna go. I want to put this one up too from Commander. He says, "What is IMO word?" I don't know
Uh,
what that. It's a blank. IMO
in my
is it?
opinion.
Oh,
In my
okay.
opinion.
Okay, in my opinion, it is a failure. You tried and it failed. You broke the contract, but it's okay. You pick yourself up and learn and keep it moving. Oh, wow. Wow,
And
okay.
I think, and I say this too, Commander. I don't have failures. I just learn lessons. I don't take losses. I learn lessons. I gotta pick one.
Yeah. So now I learned something. IMO means, in my opinion. I got that. Okay.
You I've been trying to figure that out for the last 2 weeks, and then when you asked me, it just clicked in my head. I don't know why. Because at first you heard me, I said I don't know, but then it was like, in my opinion, I don't know. Thanks, Commander. The way she put it in context made it make sense. Never made sense before, but I know what it means now.
Hey, Mike's Computer Tips. So glad you're here. Letitia, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm trying to look at all the comments and the questions on this topic. First and foremost, we're talking about we're building over here. Okay, he or she said first and foremost, I'm so proud to be married to my sunshine. Not only did I make a promise to her, so it's a he, but I made a promise to God for better or worse. You can't stop romantically dating each other. That's true. That's true. I believe that we building over here, and that's something that we did. I did in my last marriage. We would just go and we lived in Las Vegas for one thing, so we had a good time. We used to go just play the slots, $20. Have fun. We used to do the all the buffets, and if when the old time like the Temptations and all the old school groups come. He buy the tickets. We get dressed. Oh, baby, you look good. Yeah, you can't really stop dating each other because that can lead to divorce too. What do you think, Word?
I
Word?
always tell people, yeah, I always tell people it's not, the hard part is not, getting her, it's keeping her. So I agree with that. That's why a lot of
Right.
people forget that. Like, you never really stop dating. You
Yeah.
shouldn't. I'm fortunate enough, my wife is my best friend, so um, yeah,
Right.
we do everything together. Before we had kids, like, during COVID and stuff, we get frustrated, and then with all the roller coasters that we're going through now with, my condition, she just lost both her parents within the last 3 years. It's tough, but all the work we put in, the foundation we built, it's got us through everything that we're going through. And now, we're getting back to normal. So we're starting to take the trips. Like, we about to take a camping trip. We're starting to do all the things we used to do. So um, starting
That's
date night when my daughter finally decides to go to somebody besides me or her, and we can resume date night. But yeah, you should never stop dating. Um,
no. It's fun though, because I had fun. But anyway, we're going to get back to what Marlene is saying here. Yes, self love can get lost in marriage if you don't have someone who will encourage you to love yourself. That's true. That's got to be somebody that love themselves. Okay, that's the only way they're gonna be able to encourage you to love yourself. Okay, we have I believe Marlene is saying Tam Tam. Well, welcome in Tam Tam. Welcome in the realist 100. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. I was trying to get everybody that I can't believe so many people here. Lovey here, realist Tam Tam. There she is here. Tam Tam rocks. Thank you so much for being here. Slaughter Chick is saying self love is a life hack. I love that phrase. Yes. Okay, Edward is still here. Edward Smart is a good friend of mine. Thank you so much for being here, Edward. We're building over here is still here. Let's see. Here's what Marlene is saying. The order is God, self. Oh, the order is God, self, spouse, children. Amen. 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 Okay, Letitia is saying if you can't love yourself, you can't love anyone or anything. So true. That's a mantra I live by. That's what RuPaul said. If you can't love yourself, what he say? How in the world can you love somebody else or something like that? I watch RuPaul every now and then. Okay, so now we got Coach Mary Ma is in the house. Hey, Coach, what's
Mm,
up, Coach Mary Ma? Journey with Kiki is in the house. Hey, Journey with Kiki, thank you so much for being here. These are all of my team builders over at Team Build with Geo. I have 3 channels. Boss Life Online, Team Build with Geo, and that's where I have my team of wonderful people, and we do a lot of things on YouTube, and we help each other stay monetized, get monetized, and we play playlists. That's what we do, but we're more than just playing playlists. We are a family over at Team Build with Geo. Okay. Let's see who else. Oh, wow. My other friend Terrence is in the house. Hey, Terrence. Terrence. It's a Terrence kind of thing. Okay, that's my friend Terrence. That's his little theme song that I love. Thank you so much for being here, Terrence. Okay, I
AK in
appreciate
the
that.
building.
It says, I hope you are both doing great tonight. We are. Thank you so much. Okay, looks like everybody is speaking. Okay, now +1 on the therapy endorsements. If you don't find the right one that you connect with the first time, keep trying. You know what? That is so true, Slasher Chick,
Mm,
but I guess God had me all the time because the one that I had, child, she didn't let me get away with nothing. Nothing. Okay. And she herself also believed in God. Okay. And that right there was a big plus for me. Okay, because through her and through God's guidance, I found that link back to God, and that is something that I always would tell people that she was God sent for me. Okay, okay. Now we have uh Ara and Bay. With men, sometimes it's more about the money. Well, yeah, I can see that. Because with my sister, he didn't want to give her nothing. He wanted everything, all the money, everything. Okay, let's see. Y'all have a blessed. Thank you so much, Journey with Kiki, for coming. Okay, let's see what most females get into marriage thinking that they'll change their partner. When they can't, they typically bail out of the relationship. Letitia, you said a mouthful because one thing I learned and one thing I know, and I know the word know it too, you cannot change a person. People, so you just can't. Only person that I can change is me. That's it. And if you learn nothing else, if you learn that, you'll save yourself. So a lot of heartache. Right word? Okay, we got, and let's see who's next. Okay.
that
And
was all. Thank you. Apologize.
IMHO means, in my humble opinion. Thank you so much, Kachai. You know, I was like, hey, here we go. The Lost Souls Paranormal. Thank you so much for being here. I'm meeting so many new people. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, wow. Okay. We have, I just want to get to all the questions. Everybody else is just speaking to everybody. Tatum Rocks is still in here. Nice to meet you too, Tatum. Okay. Letitia, nice to meet you. Journey with Kiki. Thank you so much for that super chat, Journey with Kiki. I really appreciate it. She said, great information. I'm enjoying this live before choir rehearsal. And it's my birthday today, the big old 45. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Takesha. Happy birthday to you. All right, let's give her a big hand for her birthday. Journey with KK. All right, now here go Coach Mary Ma. Coach Mary Ma is saying, being a two-time divorcee, I was completely broke and broken, especially after the second one. Therapy is a must. Faith, music, and prayers were my savior. Oh, that's so nice. I'm glad you wrote that because when you feel broken, now I'm gonna tell you, I felt the most broken. Okay, when I lost my mom when I was 17 years old and lost my mother. I was broken, and all of that went into the marriages that I was in. Okay, and I had no idea, but therapy, okay, help me come back to Geo. And therapy, it reintroduced me back to a power greater than myself, whom I choose to call Jesus Christ, okay? And then there was the music. Of course, I've always been into music. That helped me a lot. And then there was the prayers that I prayed. God, just come into my life. So I'm with that, Coach Mary. I'm with that. I'm with that. That's why y'all will always hear me say that I think therapy is a good move. Okay, let's see what everybody else is saying here. Okay, here is lost souls, and when they cheat on you, that's where it really hurts. I have had it happen to me. Child, me too, 3, 4 times. But I never was married to those people. Okay, but in my marriages that hadn't happened, so it was other things. Okay, she's saying facts, Geo. Journey with Kiki, happy birthday. Okay, let's see. Hey, Rochelle. Rochelle is another good friend of mine. Thank you so much for being here, Rochelle. And we got the Lost Souls Paranormal. I'm broken and I'm trying to fix myself one day at a time. I know that's right. And that's all we have is 24 hours. Okay. All right. Let's see. The word is saying okay. All right. Letitia, therapy is necessary in healing. For me, it was. For me, it was. Okay, this was a great convo, great live, and the word. Yes, the word is all of that and 25 bags of chips. Now, did you hear that word?
I appreciate that. Who said that?
I
Mm.
said that.
Oh, Gio, I appreciate you. I appreciate. You know what? I appreciate you thinking of me when you thought about this topic. Just bringing me up talking. I'm still new to this, learning how the game works. So I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you because I love to hear you talk. Sometimes in your live because you come on so late. Sometimes I just be in the bushes because I know I'm gonna have to go to sleep because sometimes I have to get up early and go do other things. But most of the time, word, I really love what you say. You speak truth, and I am about that. Okay, and I'm real like I have to know who you are before I bring you up on my panel, because some I don't you are the word. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say about you. And I want to thank you so much for being here. And we're gonna bring this live to a close. I hope everybody enjoyed it and got something out of it. I know that I did. And once again, I want to thank the word for being here. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put up just a few more comments and then we're going to close out. Okay, Les. Hi, Les. Thank you so much for coming. I'm loving life and living in the moment, as we all should be blessings to everyone. Hello, everyone. That is so true. Okay, and Letitia said, "Thank you for gracing the panel, the word, and Miss Gio. Great topic, insight, much love. Thank you so much, Letitia. Thank you so much." Then we got
Yeah,
Coach. Go ahead, the word.
I was about to say, y'all go get to know Leticia if y'all like it or not, because Leticia gets some great information, not only the history and knowledge, but just information that we can use on a daily basis, similar to myself, that can make life better. So I'm pumping Leticia.
All
We got
right,
to make
Letitia.
Leticia great.
I can get over there to one of your lives or your videos or something, Letitia, but you will be hearing from me. Coach Mary Ma said, "Yes, Jill, this topic is useful every time. Divorce is so common these days, and most people need help on how to heal and move on. That is so true. Well, guys, I'm going to bring this live to a close. The word, thank you once again for being on my guest panel. If you're in the live and you have not joined the words channel, his link is pinned at the top of the chat, and it's also in the show more box below. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And let me turn off this last comment here, and then I'm going to go ahead and play the outro. So I see you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Bye-bye, everybody. Uh-oh, I think I gotta go back up here to play it. Just a second, guys. Looks like StreamYard don't want to work with me tonight. But that's okay, because I am going to get it.
8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift off of